A-Level Religious Studies at JCG. This PowerPoint has been made to help you decide if Religious Studies A-Level is the subject for you. On this slide you can see quotes from famous philosophers. This is looking at philosophical thinking and the value of knowledge, but also the value of being an ethical person and choosing moral actions rather than those that would make you more successful. So it leads with Albert Einstein: try not to become a man of success, but rather try to become a man of value. Then Confucius: wisdom, compassion and courage are the three universally recognised moral qualities of men. George Bernard Shaw: we are made wise not by the recollection of our past, but by the responsibility for our future. Beware of false knowledge, it is more dangerous than ignorance. And success does not consist in never making mistakes, but in never making the same one a second time. We try to follow these ideals within our learning. So why choose Religious Studies A-Level at JCG? RS is intellectually exciting and demanding. It enhances academic development, complements other social sciences and humanities subjects, and it is valued by all the top universities. The course itself will consist of a 2-year study programme with 3 examinations at the end of the 2 years. Paper 1 will be the Philosophy of Religion, which is 2 hours long and has a 33% weight. Paper 2, Ethical Theories, again 2 hours. Paper 3, Developments in Christian Thought. So each of these will hold a third of the weight of the total of the examination. Okay, so looking at the course in more depth, first with Paper 1, Philosophy of Religion. So students study philosophical language and thought, an issue and questions raised by belief. Within this study, we will look at the ancient philosophical influences, so looking at philosophers such as Socrates, Aristotle, Plato. We'll look at the nature of the soul, mind and body, whether the soul can exist without the body, whether it lives on past the body's death. Then we look at arguments about the existence of God and arguments that might suggest that God doesn't exist. We look at the nature and impact of religious experience, the challenge for religious belief of the problem of evil. So if God is supposed to be all good and all powerful, why does evil exist in the world? Ideas about the nature of God and issues in religious language. So why is it that our language cannot explain such concepts such as the nature of God fully? Section 2 is Religion and Ethics. Here students explore key concepts and the works of influential thinkers, ethical theories and their application on current affairs. They will study normative ethical theories, which include natural moral law, situation ethics, Kantian ethics and utilitarianism. Then they will apply these to contemporary issues such as euthanasia, abortion, business ethics, sexual ethics. They will look at ethical language and thought. There'll be lots of debates surrounding the significant ideas of conscience and other ethical dilemmas. And then sexual ethics and the influence on ethical thought and developments in religious belief. The third and final section is Development in Christian Thought. This is where students will explore religious beliefs, values and teachings and how these connect with various historical and contemporary world issues, sources of religious wisdom and authority, practices which shape and express religious identity and how these vary within a tradition, significant social and historical developments in theology and religious thought, and then key themes related to the relationship between religion and society. On this slide, I have just given a variety of questions from past papers to show the type of study that you will be doing over the 2 years. So the first one, the mind is separate from the body, discuss. So you would look into whether the soul is actually different to the body and if it can exist after the body dies. Evidence of evil and suffering in the world provides a greater challenge to the existence of God than the logical problem of evil. Discuss. Assess the view that Christianity and feminism are not compatible, and that hell is not a place but a state of mind. Discuss. So why choose religious studies at JCG? Past results have all been excellent and among the best in the college. All A-level RS teachers are specialists and very experienced. The subject is exciting and demanding. It enhances academic development and it is an excellent complement to the sciences and other humanities. We're often asked if you needed to have a GCSE in religious studies in order to go on to study RS at sixth form. The simple answer is no, because the A-level is quite different from the GCSE qualification. And although there are parts of the GCSE study that are useful, it's not absolutely necessary. However, you would need a GCSE level 5 in English. This is so that we know that you have a command of written skills which are needed for the course and of course the written examination. A-level RS can lead you to different further studies. If you choose a university degree after sixth form, religious studies is highly valued by the top universities. A-level RS can lead to degrees in philosophy, sciences, philosophy and maths, law, the social sciences, humanities, journalism, education and many more. Studying RS at A-level can gain a top career. There's usually two strands in which students go, which are law and medicine, but this isn't the only strands. You can go into business, journalism, non-uniform services, the armed forces, politics, writing careers, the arts, to name but a few. On the screen now you can see the age-old problem of the trolley. Basically, you're somewhere near the trolley tracks and suddenly you hear a trolley out of control hurtling towards you. Then you see 5 workers on the tracks carrying tools and there's no way they can see the trolley coming. It's now too late to warn them as they'd be crushed by the time they get up and run. Suddenly you realise that you stand next to the lever that can reroute the trolley. However, there is also a lower track and only one worker is standing on it, unaware of what's going on. What would you do? Would you pull the lever and reroute the trolley to that one person in order to save the other 5 lives? You wouldn't hesitate even to pull the lever if you are like the majority of people. After all, it's better to kill 1 instead of 5, right? The second scenario. Here you are on an overpass above the tracks. The trolley again is hurtling towards the 5 people, but there's a large gentleman witnessing this next to you. You know that if you push this guy over, it will block the way with his huge body and 5 people will be rescued. What would be your decision in this case? Would you push the guy? This puts a different slant on the problem because you are actually actively hurting somebody in order to save the others. The idea of killing an innocent person would terrify you if you are like the majority of people. Although there's just a minor change in the scenario, most of you would have preferred to pull the lever and save the 5 people rather than sacrifice the 1 person to save the 5 people in the second scenario. Philosophers Philippa Foot and Jarvis Thomson's trolley problem is an intriguing example of how human being decision-making process alters when emotions are involved, even if the outcomes would be the same. Most people would choose to pull the lever in the first scenario, while they refuse to sacrifice the large gentleman in the second. But what if the man on the bridge was the one who tied the people up in the first place? These are the questions we ask in Religious Studies A-level. What do you actually think about this problem right now? Do our emotions direct us to the right decision? Or actually, do our emotions sometimes make us choose wrongly? Should we avoid sacrificing one person, even if it means you are saving 5 other people? Okay, a final thought about Religious Studies A-Level at JCG. RS A-Level dares to ask the questions other subjects dare not ask. The questions that Religious Studies investigates are the most profound questions that we can ask. RS encourages deep thinking, analysis and evaluation, all the skills that are needed in preparation for university.